This time last year, I sat down with Governor Gavin Newsom in a place you probably wouldn't expect to see the governor of California. We met up in Montgomery, Alabama, where he was sounding the alarm about the Republican rollback of reproductive rights and individual liberties in general. Of course, since then, things have only gotten worse. Recently, a near-total abortion ban from 1864 was reinstated in Arizona. And in Alabama, the site of that conversation with the governor just a year ago, hospitals were forced to pause IVF treatment. And while that IVF decision has received a lot of warranted attention, the fact that lawmakers there have even tried to make it a crime to facilitate out-of-state abortions has probably not received as much focus as it deserves. And Governor Newsom is still at it. Today, he's releasing a searing new ad that will air in Alabama as part of an effort to raise awareness about that extreme legislation. Now, in a big exclusive on this show, we're debuting that ad for the very first time. And I'll warn you, it's disturbing, but it's also important to watch.
We're almost there. You're gonna make it.
Trump Republicans want to criminalize young Alabama women who travel for reproductive care.
Miss, I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle, take a pregnancy test.
Stop them by taking action at righttotravel.org. Campaign for Democracy Group is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Joining me now from a Planned Parenthood clinic in Sacramento is California Governor Gavin Newsom. Governor, I so appreciate you taking the time. And I just wanted to start with this ad that I've watched many times. It's incredibly chilling. It just debuted. It's going to air in Alabama. And for people who are out there who just watch that and they think, that's an exaggeration, this isn't really going to happen, what do you say to them?
Well, I'd say to them, look at what Idaho already did. I mean, thank God it's been enjoined by the federal courts under First and Fourth Amendment grounds. But it's a law that's in effect in Idaho. It's a law that is being advanced not just in Alabama, but Tennessee and Oklahoma as we speak. So much attention has been focused elsewhere. IVF, understandably, obviously focused tactically on what just occurred in Arizona as it relates to the 1864 law. Not enough attention has been placed on the fact that we're not just criminalizing women's access to reproductive care in certain states. Now we're criminalizing their travel.
Which is so important for people to understand. People who are in states around California, like Arizona, who want to come to California, they're looking, this is a threat that people need to take seriously. I did want to talk about Arizona because for the second time in 2 weeks, Republicans in Arizona, even after they saw all of the response, blocked an effort to repeal the abortion ban based on a law, again, back in that was passed in 1864. This time, there was video, which is pretty remarkable, of Republicans actually cheering on the floor of the legislature. I mean, what was going through your mind when you watched that video?
It sickens you. I mean, I've got two young daughters. You know, the fact that they're not going to have the same rights that their mom and dad did, the same rights their parents have. I mean, the fact that we have in this country, and it goes back to the travel point, 160,000 women that had to leave their state, 160,000 women had to leave their states last year to access reproductive care. The fact that now you have AGs like the Alabama AG that want to incarcerate up to 5 years to life those women that are aided and abetted, not just the women, but those that support the women to get out of their respective states. The fact that we now have a ban goes back to 1864 in the state of Arizona, and they're celebrating 1864. I thought the Republican Party wanted to put a wrecking ball to the 21st century. Now they want to recreate the 19th century. So for me, it's chilling and goes well beyond just the issue of women's reproductive care. It goes to access to contraceptions, voting rights, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, this consequential moment that should absorb most of our focus, not some of the other tangential things that tend to get a little more focus at this precious and important moment in American history.
Which is a really important point I think people forget. And when you and I sat down in Alabama about a year ago, you kind of warned of this, that they could be going after LGBTQ rights. That could be next. Contraception could be next. What is next? What should people be bracing themselves for if these politics continue to run as they are?
Well, you see, they've been on a cultural purge, a banning binge. They're censoring historical facts, rewriting history. It's happened in the open. They're not just talking about rights regression in states. They're talking about the nationalization of rights being regressed. We know, you know, everybody watching knows that if Donald Trump becomes president of the United States again, he will sign a national abortion ban, period, full stop. He's the one that's responsible for the conditions that persist today. And those same conditions, again, continue to persist as it relates to rights that are being vandalized by the United States Supreme Court.
You mentioned Donald Trump, and what you said, I mean, it stuck out to me because he said he wouldn't sign an abortion ban. He leans into it should be up to the states, which is, by the way, leaving millions of women across the country without access to abortion. But it sounds like you don't believe him on his claim he won't sign an abortion ban.
No, he's a liar. He's a liar. He's not telling you the truth. He's not level setting. He'll say whatever he needs to say on any day of the week. I mean, give me a break. Look, I mean, he's created these conditions. He celebrated those conditions. He celebrated the fact that he was responsible for overturning Roe. He said that he would criminalize women. I mean, he's on tape saying these things. He'll say whatever he needs to say at a given moment. And so don't think for a second if, you know, the great Lindsey Graham sends him a bill and somehow it gets through Congress, that he doesn't sign that. You know he will. And everybody, again, knows that. You can't trust this person by any stretch of the imagination. And so, look, these conditions that persist all are made possible by one person, Donald Trump. Mitch McConnell, you have a lot to explain as well. And so that's why we have to, I think, again, be more clear, more concise in the condemnation and remind people of what's at stake with this election. And again, I recognize what's at stake because we're already feeling it. We're already dealing with the absorption of people seeking reproductive care in the state of California. It's up by 17% post-Dobbs in this state. And I'm here at Planned Parenthood. It's important, Jen, just to remind people about a third of Planned Parenthood patients in America are here in the state of California. So no state has more responsibility, more opportunity, but bigger burden than the state of California.
I want to ask you about the Arizona Senate race because, you know, another person who's kind of attempting to change, soften, shift, chameleon, whatever you want to call it, their stance is one of Arizona's more well-known Republicans, Senate candidate Kari Lake. I mean, she initially praised the state's abortion measure from 1864 as a great law, but now she says the state Supreme Court decision to revive it is out of step with the people of her state. She's been joking about people putting on Glocks. That's a separate but related issue. What do you make of her evolving stance on this?
Person of remarkable character and conviction with, compelling moral authority that puts her finger to the wind and moves with the prevailing winds. Please. Her integrity has the form and substance, dare I say, you see the Golden Gate Bridge behind me, of fog. I don't take much of what she says at face value. I mean, she basically said last week that people, well, don't worry about any 1864 bans in Arizona. You can all go to California. You can all go to a neighboring state. We took that quite literally and quite seriously, but she can't be taken quite literally or respectively quite seriously.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.